it's Writing Wednesday. Now, normally when I shoot a video outdoors, I'm showing off a bit. I try to pick a sunny day in a beautiful spot because I do believe that I objectively live in one of the most beautiful places on earth, and I kind of want to show it to you. But today I'm deliberately choosing to show you one of the ugliest things in St. John, something that people who live in warmer climates never get to see, and that is the black snowbanks of the end of winter. Around February, March, these start appearing, snow piles all along the roads and piled up in parking lots that have been plowed over and snowed over and blackened with asphalt and mud and car exhaust for months upon months, and then as the melt starts they begin to peel back and reveal dog poop and garbage and all the disgusting stuff that people have buried in the snow over the course of winter. It's quite a dispiriting sight. March now, the month of the official first day of spring. This is the weekend. I'm shooting this on the weekend of daylight savings. It's the time when in the northern hemisphere most people at least start to think about spring. Here in Newfoundland, spring is a cruel process. In the last few weeks we've had snowstorms, rainstorms, days of fog so thick that you felt like you would never see the sun again, and then mild sunny days that made you feel like it was all worthwhile. There's a chapter in the book Anne of Green Gables that starts, "Spring had come, the capricious, reluctant Canadian spring." I remember reading that as a kid, first of all not knowing how to pronounce the word capricious. I used to pronounce it in my head as Capricornius. But also thinking, even at that age, wow, if you think Canadian spring is bad on PEI, you really need to come live in Newfoundland. Oh look, it's snowing again. When did that happen? Sometimes the only way I can get myself through the horrors of what we call spring is to think of it in metaphorical terms. And lately I've been thinking about how a Newfoundland spring is kind of like the creative process. You see, when I first left home at the age of 18 and moved first to Michigan and then to Ontario, I was blown away by spring. Winters were cold and snowy in Ontario and in Michigan, sometimes even colder and snowier than they'd been at home. But they had a definite end. The snow would stop, the temperature would rise, it would get sunny, you'd have a little bit of gentle rain, and then things would start to blossom. Blooms would appear on the trees. The whole thing was like something out of a storybook, which up till that point I had thought was fictional. I had no idea springs like that happened. So to bring this around to writing, I think a lot of us have the illusion that writing is like spring, the ideal spring that some parts of the world actually get, where you plant the seeds of inspiration in the soil and then germinating under the sun of hard work with a little bit of gentle rain, they blossom forth into beautiful finished pieces of work. The creative process, in my experience, is not very spring-like at all, or it is very like a Newfoundland spring. Even before your idea seed starts to germinate, you've been hit by blinding snowstorms, you spend days lost in the fog not knowing what to do next. As you start to revise, it's like you melt away at these piles of words that have mounded up and reveal the decaying carcasses of abandoned characters and plot lines that won't work. Sure, you get those days when the sun breaks through and you think, this is a great story, but it doesn't last, and all too soon you're lost in the fog again. The whole process is very messy, and sometimes you wonder, am I making any progress at all? As for me and my project, I am seeing some progress. I've just put in about the best week of editing that I have in a long time. I'm near the end of this draft of the manuscript, and I'll soon be ready to move ahead and start writing new stuff. I've got enough experience to know that whatever happens next won't necessarily be easy, and some of it won't be pretty, but at least we're moving in the right direction. At least progress is being made. Don't forget that next week in my 25th episode I want to answer some of your questions about writing, reading, books in general. So please ask me some questions either in the YouTube comments, on my blog, on Facebook, or on Twitter, and next week I'll do my best to answer them.